Welcome to another beautiful edition of the Business Leader of the Week. My name is Onyeka and this is Daba TV. Today on the Business Leader of the Week, we are going to take you on a chit chat with our guest, who is a brand strategist, also one who has pushed a whole lot of projects. He's an entrepreneur. I can call him a serial entrepreneur, and someone who's been doing very well for himself when it comes to the industry of brand strategizing. But there's a touch to brand strategy we're going to look at today. How about brand strategy in the movie industry, in a very woke society, and in a time where we need it the most? On the Business Leader of the Week today, we're going to have all these questions answered, while we'll have a gist with our guest in the studio. When I'm right back, I'm going to show you Onyeka, Chiemelie, Michael, who happens to be our guest in the studio today. We'll take the short break and we'll be right back.
The world is changing. It is becoming more digital, and so is the future of our money. At Crypto Life Capital, we are helping you grow wealth by investing in digital currencies, because we believe that digital currencies break down barriers and change the world economy. We have a team of experienced traders who are dedicated to helping your investment grow. We make investment easy and stress-free for you. Crypto Life Capital is Africa's first crypto asset portfolio investment and management platform committed to helping investors, individuals and institutions gain passive income and build long-term wealth through the crypto market. We provide exposure to price movements of a diversified mix of crypto assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and large and small cap innovative digital projects. Do you want to build wealth in crypto? Then invest in Crypto Life Capital today. It's time to go Crypto Life.
Welcome back. This is still Daba TV and my name is Onyeka. Before we went on that short break, I told you about my guest in the studio today, Onyeka, Chiemelie, Michael. I can call this man, like I said before, a serial entrepreneur, a marketing and branding strategist, and someone who I've had a conversation with before now, and I can't wait to share with you what he has in store for us. And so to your screens now is Michael, Chiemelie, Onyeka. Nice to have you here, sir. You're welcome.
The pleasure is mine.
It's really fun for me when I have to get people in the studios, talk to them about different walks of life, and I get amazed every time when I see something regular coming the irregular way, right? And I would call you one of the very few irregular persons, and you are going to find out why I said that by the time we're done with this show. But before we go deep into this conversation, let us meet you. So how can we address you, or who is Michael Onyeka Chiemelie?
Thank you very much. I'm Chiemelie Onyeka, Dr. Chiemelie Onyeka Michael.
Dr. Chiemelie Onyeka Michael.
Brand strategist for Scholastic Arts Creation. Also the CEO of Kids Service Hub Limited. And a content creator, a writer, and an entrepreneur.
Wow. So you create content, you also write, and then you're an entrepreneur. Yes. So I was right all the way when I said you are a serial entrepreneur.
Of course you are.
So talking about content creating, brand strategizing, and all that, how long have you been in this space? Let us talk about two. Brand strategizing and content creation. How long have you been in this space? Okay,
within just brand and content creation, I've been over near a decade now.
A decade? That's like almost 10 years.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, I've been creating content, insightful content on social media, and also I've been writing generally, have been on all platforms, some of my books, which are talking about content creation majorly, and some of them branding, advertisement, and all of that.
Okay, so you are an author and also a content creator. So for content creation, is there a niche you particularly picked for content creation?
Well, content is vast,
Great.
Actually, but I picked on social media content.
All right.
Okay, how to position business aright when it comes to using social media tools. Mm-hmm. And this is a very lucrative part of it. Mm-hmm. That is why I went for it, because that is what people need at this time.
Great, interesting. So do you also consider the parts where I mean, it's not just working. There should be milk and honey where you work. So you have to pick that social media
It's
aspect
the juicy
of it.
part.
The juicy part, yeah. So we just talked about content creation. You also are a brand strategist. How would you define brand strategizing? Let me put it that way. How would you define that space, that niche?
Thank you very much. Brand strategy has to do with you, how your body of work appear to the people who will consume it.
Okay.
Most often than not, people do not see what the brand strategist does because he's beneath the camera. The plot, the general machination of things, how the location, all of these things are part of the things the brand strategist has to take his time and look at. And also he deals with, if you need multiple crew members away even from your geographical location, he needs to make those touch. All of those things come handy into what he's doing.
So I would like to understand what you say now as brand strategy being the mother hen behind, let's just call it any project.
Of course.
They may not be there, they may not be face of the project, but they are the ones making that background work at the back to make sure that everything works well. And while you were talking, you made mention of the location, the plot. Those are not just ordinary expressions. Those are expressions mostly used by movie producers, which is one of the reasons why I mentioned initially that this is a different brand strategist we have in the studio today. I'm sure when I mentioned the brand strategist and the serial entrepreneur, you're probably going to think that this particular show, this episode, this conversation would be about marketing, sales, and the rest. It's part of it. But today, I we're having this conversation because I recently came across a movie that you're actively involved in, Gang of Looters. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, I want to know, you be the best person to tell us about this movie, Gang of Looters. But before you do so, tell us your role. What role are you playing in that project, the Gang of Looters?
Okay. The movie, Gang of Looters, I've been in various media houses trying to push this movie, which clearly talks about the dictates of this time.
Okay.
Corruption, godfatherism, and all of that.
Okay, sorry, we'll get to that. Now, you have been pushing the movie. Did you star in the movie?
No, I did not.
So you are not officially there. We can't pick your face in the movie.
Of course not.
We can't say you are the director. We can't say you are the camera guy. You are the makeup artist. But from what you've said, you are the brand strategist for that movie.
Yes.
So what is the movie about?
Thank you very much. The movie seeks to lampoon some of the ills in the society. You know, we as young people should be concerned about what is happening around us. If you don't have the right template, you can't even do business.
True, you're right.
So the movie seeks to talk about corruption, godfatherism, bribery, and all of those things that we need to take away from our society. And also to show us how we can, going forward, how we can appear as the best brand. You're first a brand. And so that is actually, the movie is a broad movie trying to direct us to the right path as a nation.
The right paths as a nation. I picked that correctly. Now, while you were talking, I'm going to come back to the right path as a nation where you picked. But I picked something from while you were talking. You talked about corruption, the movie, godfatherism, and the rest. Would you say those are part of the themes the movie was highlighting?
Of course it is.
Is there more? Is there a major theme you think that movie carries? Like, if we see that movie, what word comes to mind? What is the theme you think that movie highlights?
Thank you very much. It's a predominant message that seeks to lampoon corruption. We want people to understand that there's a rot in the system, and that is why we are not moving as. And so the most salient message is corruption. Corruption. How do we nip it at the bud, and how do we take it overboard? This is what we're talking about.
Thank you very much, Mr. Onyeka, Dr. Onyeka. Just so we do not give so many spoilers for the movie, we're just going to go on a short break and play you the trailer of the movie Gang of Looters. This movie was released in 2021. Dr. Onyeka Chiemelie happens to be the brand strategist of the movie and has been doing well to get this movie across to the right persons and the right faces. Just after we play this trailer to you, we're going to have to talk to him more about how he's been putting efforts to see that this movie gets to the right persons. Enjoy this trailer.
I am the state. I am the social and political compass of this state. How dare you sign such a contract without recourse to me? You know that I have multinational companies that can handle such contract. Yet you went ahead and gave such contract out. You either revoke that contract or you pay me $250 million.
Excuse me. Where do you expect me to get that kind of money from? These are state funds we're talking about.
You have just kissed your second term. Goodbye.
You're not going for the second term, mate.
Sure. I don't need the prophets to tell me that.
I broke protocols. I flaunted the laws of the land with utmost disregard, damning every political consequences. Motherfucker.
You and your gang of looters should stop stealing from the pot to feed fat.
The major theme of that movie being corruption is not an understatement. This is still the business leader of the week in Daba TV, and I am with Dr. Onyeka Chiemelie, and we're having a fun time talking about Gang of Looters, the movie whose trailers you've just actually seen on your screens. And we're going to get back to Dr. Onyeka. Okay. That's a great project, right? That is a movie that, if you ask me, is quite sensitive, and in a period where we find ourselves. Why do you think that movie fits into the Nigerian society?
Thank you very much. If you look at what is happening around us as a nation, we are not growing as we should. So it is timely to discuss those problems we are having. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we keep shying away from discussing it, then we remain on the ground. So it is not even a Nigerian problem, it's an African question. The issue of corruption, nepotism, tribalism and all of that is everywhere. So we need to heal. It's like a cancerous wound. And if you... so it is good we heal or it festers. That's the point.
So I would say the movie is like a medicine to rub on the corruption, the nepotism, the tribalism, the insensitivity sometimes that our society has embraced. Yes. And so projects like this, let me ask, is this your first project? Is this your first project of this kind?
No.
Okay.
But this is actually my second project of this magnitude.
Yes. Okay, fine. Now, we have talked about this movie talking about corruption, the Nigerian society, and yes, it is society. We know we have a lot of presence. But I want you to be specific so that our viewers and our listeners right now are able to appreciate that this movie is quite as specific as it should be. Who do you think should see this movie in our time?
Thank you very much. The people who should see this movie are, first of all, the position occupants. I wouldn't want to call them leaders, because a leader should have some traits, some basic traits, which also include listening to the hoi polloi. They have not. So these people are the first point of call. They should see that we are tired of the travesty. We are tired of these things happening at that space. So we want them to know that we know what is happening and we don't want this to continue. That is the first person. Then young persons like you and I, we are supposed to see this movie so that it can arm us with the right information as we go into the election year, the coming year. So
now, I like that part. The young persons, the position occupant. I'm hearing that. That's a beautiful way to describe them. I mean, your choice of word in this conversation so far has been so accurate.
Thank you.
The position occupants, being that you don't want to privilege them so much to call them leaders.
No, they are not leaders.
Let's get it straight. Okay, fine. That's interesting. Now, Nigeria is what we've talked about in our fair, in our space, Nigeria. How about Africa? Do you think it applies to the African society? And how?
When a finger gets the oil, it stains everywhere. Nigeria is in pain. Every other country is in pain. Being
across
the black,
continent,
most populous country of the world. And the issue we are talking about is not limited to Nigeria alone. Most African countries too are going through this pang and this challenge. So when we find ourselves, one more parable will say, when the fish is rotting by the head, the whole body is rotting. So since Nigeria is in pain, every other person involved at any point is in pain. So we need to heal. We need to expunge some of these repugnant attitude of ours. We need to create a new system. And so when we do that, it will rub off on the other people. So Africa is also connected as we talk about this.
Yeah, so I was particular about talking about Nigeria first, then Africa, because of course, this movie is from us, right? From Nigeria, and then we'll talk about Africa. My question to you now, back from the beginning to the beginning of this conversation, as a brand strategist, what are you doing to get this movie to the right people, to the right faces? Now, we asked the question initially, who needs to see this movie? You mentioned the seat occupants, the position occupants, and then young persons like yourself and I. So what are you doing to get this movie across to these persons, Nigerians generally, and then Africans as a brand strategist?
Thank you very much. We have been able to go on most media houses. Okay. Paramount among that is the channels, okay, and then Arise TV and some others. And what have we been doing? We have been trying to talk about it just like the way we are doing right now. We want people to be sensitized enough to understand what is happening in the political space. If you watch most young people now, there's this political apathy. Nobody's interested. So we want them to want to bring back the interest into politics. Then we've also hosted it on Amazon Prime, where it is actually the only viewing platform at the moment. Okay. You can rent or you can buy it on that platform. So that we are trying to push, and with what we are doing now on Daba TV, we're also talking about the movie.
Oh, great. So leveraging on media, which is actually a lot of strength, is one way as a strategist you're using to pull this project and get it to the faces of the right persons. And I also read somewhere about this movie that it is an adaptation of a book itself. Yes. So there is a book existing, and then you made it into the movie. Actually,
who wrote the book is Dr. Mark Anthony Nze.
Okay.
A very reputable young man. Okay. Yeah. And so because of the timeliness and the relevance of this subject matter, it is good we draft it into any other platform that will be, so that we can have more people patronize it. Some people like to watch, others like to read. So if we have people who can read the book, they will see the movie.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense. Now, let's come to the business aspect. Of course, this is the business leader of the week. We can't have a chit chat without talking a little bit of business. Is the movie in the box office?
Well,
is it in the box office?
Yes.
Is it in the box office right now?
No.
No, is it in the cinemas?
No, it is not.
So you are keen on pushing a movie that is not in the book. Of course, if a movie is out there, I want to know how well is it doing in the box office? Because if the answer to the question is in the box office was yes, I was going to ask, how many are you grossing right now? Okay. How much are you grossing in the box office, right? So it means that it's not in the box office, it's not in the cinema. Why are you keen on it? What's the business side of this project?
Thank you very much. When we push a project like this, we have more people who are in the right frame of mind, sensitized enough. It will reflect in your finance somehow, because they are more aware. Business life will not be the same. Now, one more thing, the reason why if you want to ask me about the business side, I will tell you that people know their problems with themselves. I mean, with this. So it is driving sale on its own. I can tell you some of the comments I've gotten over time as the brand strategist of this movie, and some of them, no, this is timely. The election year is coming. What perfect timing. So comments like that also show you that there is some level of profound interest. People like what they see, and then it is reflecting. I'm not going to talking about the figures because it's not an information privy to my note at the moment. Yeah. But with the feedbacks I am getting, business is going fine.
Business is going fine. Of course, I was able to scroll through the some of the comments you're talking about, and I could tell that this movie has touched the consciousness of some people. You know how I understand our society. This is me putting in my 2 cents. How I understand society and humans in general is that sometimes our problems are there and we're not aware of it until something tickles it.
You're right.
If that thing does not happen, we sometimes accept our existence as just the way it is, and we keep living life that way until something tells us there's a problem. So you want to make us understand now that Gang of Looters, the project, is a project that awakens that consciousness in us to say, this is a problem you should tackle. Thank you very much for giving us that insight. Now, I'm going to ask this. In the nearest future, do you have it in your plans as part of your project to pull similar projects like this that would push the consciousness of people towards a general problem?
Yes, I do.
And how much energy do you want to put into projects like this?
Okay, well, because whether we like it or not, there's a place about living for impact. So projects like this are lifelong impact. Service to humanity is the best work of life. So you're lost in how to advance the cause of man. You're not just here to come, do business, pay bills and die.
Yeah.
You're here to live here better. So in the future, I will be invested in much projects like this that seeks to lampoon the ills in the society, move human race forward. So yes, totally, I will be committed to projects like this.
You know, prior to what we used to know in the industries, when movies and projects are being released, mostly it is the face around the camera, it is the popular name that we know that does most of this pushing and appearances and all that, which is great. But I'm happy to see that there is a little shift. You being a brand strategist, taking up the responsibility and pushing a project like this should pass a message to other brand strategists that there are different places, there are different niches, there are different things you could touch. And like you said, it's about service to humanity at the end of the day. So in your field, in your niche, is there a word, is there an expression, is there an advice, is there a 2 cents you have for people who are in your niche, people who are doing business like you? Is there anything you want to tell them?
Of course, first of all, I would tell them perception is key. When you in your body of work, there should be somebody who is laid back, who is seeing things from the omniscient point of view. So that attention to detail must be there. Your ability to spot uncanny things, behaviors, see things that are not there. These are things that will make you exceptional when it comes to this part of human endeavor, that's branding. Then secondly, also, you must be somebody very versatile, creative. The mind must be on some erratic mode, because you are trying to manage a lot of people, and human beings are variable. Human beings have different response. You might even fall out with somebody when you meant the best intention can lead to the worst outcome. So there's this part of you that will manage everything you see, and then you give advice, taking into cognizance that people may not respond immediately. That's more like the mother hen. So you're seeing something from the rear view. Yeah. So you have to, your emotional intelligence game must be very high.
Very high, yeah, true. I agree with you. This session would never be complete if we do not talk about how to actually get that movie and some of other projects you mentioned. When we were talking earlier, you mentioned you're also an author. We would like to know some of your works. I'd like to let's know some of your works. Let's start with that.
Okay. I have the business of content marketing.
Okay.
We seek to talk more about the business side. A lot of people know how to make content. They don't know how to make money.
Oh yes, I've seen that. It's a great one.
I think
it's a great one. You should get it.
Yes, and then we have a easy guide to making good figures online. Okay. I actually said 7 figures, but I have to be modest online. Then we have some of the cultural works to advance. Like I said, I am very intentional about living here better. So we're talking about our culture and tradition, the only thing that makes us ours.
Great. And then, of course, this project on ground, Gang of Looters, is another one that we can actually give you credit for. Now, how can we first? Let's start with
credit for Dr. Mark Anthony Nze.
Yeah, then you for the movie and for pulling it out there to the public. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for giving me that information. Now, tell us how we can get Gang of Looters. I want to see the movie. I'm interested. I want to see the movie. I'm a viewer now watching Dr. Onyeka, Chiemelie, and I want to know, how can I get this movie? Tell us, how can we get it?
Okay, if you want to get the movie, on Amazon Prime is the only host platform for now. Okay. Amazon Prime, you can rent and you can buy. That's the only place where you can get the movie at the moment.
Okay, so on Amazon Prime, you could either rent the movie or buy the movie. So when we get to Amazon Prime, we can search for Gang of Looters, and then the movie pops up. We can either rent or buy the movie. So there you have it, how to actually get access to that movie, Gang of Looters. How about your books, your works, your other works? How can we get access to it?
It's on Amazon too.
Oh,
if you just the business of content marketing.
Tell us you have a deal with Amazon.
No, it is the best reading platform at the way.
Yeah, true.
And then Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world. So somehow let me key into
business.
So the cultural works are there, and then basically that's where you can get my works for now. Or offline too. I have the stores nationwide. You can always order and get them too.
Okay, so you want to make a rundown of those books again, maybe just to refresh our memories. The books now.
The business of content marketing.
Okay.
easy guide to making 7 figures online.
Okay.
And the Eagleship Institution in Oba. I use the case in point Oba to talk about cultural works as
That's Oba in Anambra State.
Yes.
The Obiku banners Oba. Oh, of course, that should be a selling point for you already.
Of course, it is. We thank God.
That is it from a brand strategist. What else do you expect? You can't actually expect less. So thank you very much. How about your socials? Let's talk about your social media platforms. How can you be accessed? And are you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? And how can we find you?
Okay. On Facebook and Instagram, it is as Kizzy Michaels. Kizzy Michaels. Kizzy is the brand. Then on LinkedIn, Chiemelie Onyeka Michael.
Okay.
Chiemelie Onyeka Michael on Facebook too.
Oh, okay, great. So you heard that. You can actually go ahead and search him, ask him all the questions you think you still need information on. And of course, I believe he will be available to attend to those questions. It's been an interesting ride so far talking to Dr. Onyeka Chiemelie Michael. And in this particular episode, I think I have gathered one or two things. I have taught myself actually to always leave my comfort zone. Because look, the truth is, not all brand strategists want to buy into a niche like this in a time like this. In a time like this.
I agree.
It can mean a lot. It can be very sensitive. So if you haven't picked anything from there, I'm telling you what I've picked. You can always try, because they say variety is the spice of life. And then just give it a shot and see how well it is going to go. This is now going to take us straight to the next segment of this particular show, where we're going to play a very brief, short, but interesting game with Dr. Chiemelie Michael Onyeka. But we'll go for a short break, and when we're back, we have this fun time.
You see, making money online begins with a desire. And if you have that desire, we can help you with the rest. Download the Daba mobile application and take free courses on how to generate money online. It's easy and free. Visit the Google Play Store today. Download and learn.
Welcome back. I have been in the studio in a couple of minutes now with Dr. Chiemelie Onyeka Michael, and we've been talking brand strategy, we've been talking the movies, we've been talking the impact of this movie Gang of Looters on Africa and Nigeria as a whole, and of course we've been talking about how to improve our society and make the future better, leaving an impact today for tomorrow. And of course we've come to that segment where we'll talk about, or we'll play a brief game. It's going to be 5 questions, and we're going to be quick with this one. And so, Dr. Onyeka, for some of these questions, you may not have to think it through. You give a polar answer to it as quick as you can. But for others, you may have to answer and give us a reason why you gave the answer. For example, the first question, tell us the best day of the week for you.
The best of the week is Monday.
Why?
Because I get to sleep.
That's a businessman talking. How do you sleep on a Monday?
Of course, I've done all the work on weekends. Weekends are work days too. So Monday, when everybody's rushing off.
Trust me, I knew there was a technical response to that. And that was I had to ask you why. So the best day of the week for you is a Monday. It's your rest day because you've done the work during the weekend. Number 2, fame or money?
Money.
Money. Number 3, family or community?
Family.
Family. Number 4, 1 year confined in a room and you have the chance to request for one thing and one thing only. Nothing else, just a room, just you, but you would request for only one thing. What would it be?
The internet.
The internet. That's you requesting for too much. 1 year confined in a room and you're asked to request for one thing apart from the internet.
Water.
Water. All right, an interesting one. Fine, but I'm picking your first answer, the internet. It's a smart one because that's the gateway to every other thing you need.
Yes.
Trust me, put me in a place with the internet and I'm good.
I will get everything. That's such
I'm good. I'm good. So what is one product, as a brand strategist, tell me, what is one product you think can be marketed without a strategy?
One product.
One product you think can be marketed without a strategy. You are a brand strategist.
Yes.
Tell me, is there a product you know that is existing right now that can be marketed without a strategy?
Of course.
Just put it out, it will sell.
Food.
Food.
Yes.
Because we all get hungry. Thank you so much. I was expecting that response. Thank you for your time. This is the Business Leader of the Week on Daba TV. And I've had a fun time with Dr. Onyeka Chiemelie Michael. And I'm going to be with you next time when we come on this show. And of course, this is how it is going to be. Go down to the comment section and tell me what business leader or what personality, what figure you would like to see on this show. And trust me, we'll bring them down here on Daba Studios and we'll have this time and fun time with them. Also, do not forget to like, to subscribe, to share, and also tell your friends about Daba TV and let them come on and learn. And while you do that, do not forget that we are also in the skills economy, and this is no longer the jobs economy. People have skills now, right? And so for you to learn those skills, always visit www.daba.school and you will learn interesting skills like trading, cryptocurrency trading, affiliate marketing, cake baking, UI UX design, graphics design, and the list goes on. In fact, newer courses are coming on that platform, including YouTube monetization, podcasting, public speaking, leadership, and a lot of other skills and courses you should actually take. And in no time, you are already counting some interesting funds in your bank accounts. And for this week, I am Onyeka, and it's a wrap on the Business Leader of the Week. Love you and see you next week.